15. This chapter is not about victim blaming. Fourth quarter. Ziza's father is presumed dead. His fanatic escapade proved fruitless under the law as well as under the law of physics, as his foot, numbed by a taser dart, led him to fall down the shorter side of a bridge into the fast freezing waters. Nobody went after him. The pastor of Saints Cocoon of Moth Waters, under federal orders, called Ziza Beckett, Ziza's lover, the aging Miss Applier, author of Only a Mother's Mirror, and the newlywed couple comprised of Junior Doko and Kasop, into attendance to address the captivity of a Hexel slave girl, unintentionally rescued by the Saz on the Copacabana train. She hid herself in a bag, hoping, and with great luck, that no one would take notice of the extra weight. However, a Sa child found a breathing bag to be suspicious, and so a runaway slave girl, most likely from one of the far-off Hexel deserts, was uncovered last month. In the time passing, the Federation has procured an official report, further so requesting I assist in her adoption process and eventual assimilation into our community. The Federation has deemed each of your households to be capable of raising a runaway child. If it lies in your service, let us begin. The pastor led his befuddled and bemused guests down a corridor lined with carpeted walls, before pointing to a stained glass door themed with lavender trees. In here she sleeps. Beckett opened the door without thinking and gasped. She prefers to sleep inside the cage. I could not coax her out. Miss Applier finally caught up with the group. How well does she speak? Miss Applier, I have no idea. She seems to understand us with perfect fluency, yet chooses to communicate non-verbally. We resurfaced a Hexel textbook on body language for her. Ziza slipped a pair of candy acorns into her lover's hand, and he approached the girl with sideways steps, her body curled up like a nervous fist. She tapped the floor with her fingertips furiously. Beckett reached his hand near the bars of the cage, offering her the treat with a gentle open palm. She stopped tapping. I know they look real, but they're just sugar, mostly. The girl tipped her weight onto her left hand, extended her right, swiping the acorns without ever looking up at Beckett. You can eat them. She licked the acorns, then tucked them under her shawl. It's perfect, Kasop laughed crudely, sinking into the love seat. How old is she? Junior Doko asked. How old is she? How old is she? Junior Doko asked the pastor and no one in particular simultaneously. His eye caught on the razor-thin, dark brown velvet ribbons decorating her snow-white sleeves. The pastor had actually dressed her in a ceremonial gown reserved for weddings. When asked by an officer, she responded with 19 claps, 19 blinks, translating to about 9.5 years. She looks like she could be 5, Miss Applier remarked slowly. It's anyone's best guess, the pastor replied. Ziza, wide-eyed and on the verge of tears, looked back and forth at the stunned and still faces of her peers. What if none of us take her? Sighing, the pastor spoke kindly, his hands waving over Ziza's shoulder in a gesture so obvious only the runaway girl might have understood. The Federation will prepare her for expedition. Miss Applier scratched her voice quickly. Assisted suicide? In practice, nearly so. They'll declare her to be a legal adult under the law on account of her fluency and intelligence, then return her to the deserts with a week's supply of food. Once this is done, they will have absolved themselves of any responsibility for her. They all stared at the girl, who decided it was time to eat one of the acorns, popping it into her mouth as if expecting it to explode. Chapter 15 of Unspecified Terminal Condition.